Greetings, fellow artistes, and welcome to another episode of You Saw It, Now Draw It. I'm Scott Gabala Broxome, and I'm a children's author, illustrator, and a caricaturist. And today I'm going to show you how to draw a koala. We're going to start with the shapes, then we're going to add the wonderful D-word details. But before I do, as I get this set up, a few facts about koalas. First of all, some people call them koala bears, but they're not really bears. They're actually what are called marsupials. And marsupials are animals that carry their babies in pouches, like a kangaroo is a marsupial. The koalas eat eucalyptus leaves, which I found is actually poisonous to many other animals. They sleep up to 18 hours a day. Rarely do they drink water, which I found interesting. They get most of their moisture from the leaves that they eat. And their babies are called joeys, and they are about the size of a large jelly bean when they're born. Very tiny. And believe it or not, I found out that they even eat a little dirt to help them to digest those leaves. Okay. Let's get started here. Grab your paper and pencil and eraser. And we're going to start with looking for the shapes. So if we're going to look in the shapes, look for the shapes rather in this koala. I think what we're going to start with, we could start with the body, but why don't we start with the head first? So once again, we're going to take this shape by shape. So if I cover up the body, and I try to cover up, I can't do both at the same time here, but if I cover up those ears, what shape do you see for this head? It's kind of, could be an oval or almost a round shape, isn't it? But flat on the top. So on our paper here, what we're going to do is we're going to draw that circle coming around like this. We're going to get a little bit higher here, and then we're going to bring it a straight line across like that. So, sort of a circle, a big U shape that comes up and straight across there. All right. Let me just erase this a little bit. So, there we go. Okay, so we've got the shape of the head. Let's add the ears. So what I'm seeing here is I see one diagonal line coming out here and a slightly shorter one here, kind of like two antennae. Then what we're going to do, let's go to the one on the left. What we're going to do here, actually I'll tell you what, let's come halfway down the head here, and I want you to put a little line coming out there. Come down the other side and do the same thing there. That'll kind of help us to see where we have to bring the ear around. Because from here, once again up here, we're going to bring it out a little bit. We're going to bring it around until it touches that, kind of like Mickey Mouse ears here. Do the same thing on the other side. We're going to come up, we're going to come around until it touches. Boy, it really does look like Mickey Mouse, doesn't it? All right, we're going to get back to the details on those ears a little bit later. Let's go back into the center here. Now this nose, very interesting nose. What shape is this? An oval, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to come up about this far and we're going to draw a slight curved line like the koala is smiling. Then above that line, what we're going to do, take your pencil and we're going to draw an oval shape coming around, or sort of a long upside down U. Then what I see in here, we see the nostrils, don't we? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw two slightly diagonal lines like that. And underneath them, I'm going to draw a round part like that. And then, very lightly, we're going to come up. It's like we're putting eyebrows up above this, like that. We're going to connect those like this to a point. then underneath that, let's put 2 lines like this. Like a number 1 there, 2 ones. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put in some eyes, and then we'll get to the body here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top of this nose. If we drew a line across this at the top of the nose, the eyes would be a little bit below that. So right here, if this is, you can even do that if it would help you. Very lightly, we'll draw a line across that we can erase later anyway. And just underneath this line, we're going to draw what shape are the eyes? Well, they look round. I guess they're round. So they almost look oval shape. But let's put a circle here. And let's move over here. We're going to put another one over here. So with this line, it kind of looks like the koala's a little upset or very stern. So what we can do is, let's erase that straight line now. Okay. And then with the eyes here, what I want you to do is, let's go to the left eye here. Well, actually the koala's right eye, but we're going to bring a line that comes around just a little bit like this. I see just a little bit of an eyelid coming around there. And we're going to do the same thing in the eye side. Just a little bit come up, and it comes around just a little like that. Okay. We're going to get to the face, finish that up a little bit later. Let's get to the body here. So, underneath this head, what I'm seeing here is actually there's an additional part here that's part of the neck, isn't it? So underneath this ear, right here, we're going to draw a little curved line coming out like that. Just a short one. And then what we're going to do, if we're going to get this body in here, from this line that we just finished, this little back part of the neck, we're actually going to draw what's going to end up being a very big, if you can do this here, give me a second, we're going to come up like this. So it kind of looks like a very big oval shape, doesn't it? At an angle. So it's coming at an angle. So once again, you've got that curved line for the back of the neck. Take your pencil, we're going to come down and around and back up here, but don't come back up right to here. We want to kind of up here and in a little bit. See how that curves in. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, from that line, we're going to go back up here again. We're going to move over just a little bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line that comes out a little bit. We're going to stop halfway. We're going to bend it and come right down like this. We're going to stop just past the bottom of the oval there. And then we're going to come up here. Once again, this line, this seems to be a very important line here. What we're going to do is we're going to curve this line, continue to curve it right to about here. We're going to stop. See how that goes down in like this. Another diagonal line, the opposite direction, just a short one. Then we're going to bring the line down at an angle like this and stop. Now at this point, give you a chance to catch up. This line right here, we can erase. Okay. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go to the other side here. We're going to get them down a little bit. And right here, we're going to draw a diagonal line that comes down like this, but stops. See, it stops here. It's shorter than this one. This one came down longer. This one, we're going to stop. Then we're going to move over. And right here, there's not a lot of space. Right here, we're going to draw a diagonal line, another one, that comes down about like that. So actually, your pencil, it's almost at a diagonal. The ends of the lines are almost like this. Right in the end of this big one, let's go back to this one for a second. What we're going to do is, right in the end of this, what I want you to do is to draw kind of a jelly bean shape like this. From that, we're going to draw 5 more little jelly beans. We're going to put one over here. You got a second one here. We're going to skip over a little bit because there's a space. We're going to put a third one here. We're going to skip again. We're going to put one over here, and there's just a little tiny little one peeking out over there. Give you a chance to catch up. Then what you can do is take your eraser, and what we're going to do is we're going to erase this part of the oval. I'm going to do this part right here. And then right in the ends here, I know this is a detail we're adding, but we're going to add some letter V's that come around and curve, almost like an upside down raindrop, right? Put another one over here. I'm going to put a skinny one here. I see another one over here, and the fifth one there. This one over here, what we're going to do is we're going to put that jelly bean shape. Comes out like this. Then we're going to put, it looks like there's two right here, doesn't it? I'm going to put one, two bumps, two U's, and then over here, this is the finger itself, but I see another one on top of it, so I'm going to put a little one right there. So there's one, and then there's two. We skipped way over here, came up, and put one more over there. Just like we did before. Erase those lines. There. And we're going to add one of those skinny little toenails. Another one here. This one comes right out like this. And then another one here. The fifth one must be behind here so we can't see it. Okay, I'll give you a chance to catch up here. Okay. Let's go over here. We're going to put this back leg in here. And what I see for this, if we go to the bottom here, the bottom of the koala, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with my line. See how it comes up like this, and it curves right over till it touches the elbow here. So just like this, coming up and over. Then at the bottom here, what I see, well, it's kind of a, I'd say almost like a capital letter D on its side, right here. And from that capital letter D, I'm seeing three toes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one bump, a second one, and the third one right over here. And just as we did before, let's erase a little bit in here. We can add that skinny toenail here. And then we can go in and add a little bit more detail. Let's finish off the face and make those ears look a little less Mickey Mouse-like. Let's go up here, and in the eye, what I actually see in the eye, right in the center of the eye, I want you to draw a little circle and fill it in, like that. The pupil. Same thing over here. Fill it in. But I also see a highlight in there where the light is reflecting out. So we're going to draw a little square next to that dot, and another square next to this one over here. And then if you can, shade in lightly the rest of the eye, like this. Okay, so we're letting that little white square, the highlights, show. Okay. Now, let's go back to these ears. What I'm seeing in these ears, the fluff on the ears, the fur, and this is the final detail on this koala. When you're drawing fur, sometimes when I see students drawing fur, they draw fur that looks like it's almost straight. It looks like raindrops, doesn't it? But fur goes in different directions. Some go one way, some go the other. And if you put them together like this, that looks more like fur than that does, doesn't it? So what we're going to do, because this is going every which way, go back to the top of the ear here. We're going to come up this line. And what I want you to do is draw some lines, and they're different directions. And don't make them go straight out like this, or it'll look like a porcupine here, right? Some of them are going this way. I see this going up like this, then I see this one down like this, and that looks more like fuzzy ears, doesn't it? Inside here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring a line up, and actually it's kind of a solid line. It goes around and then comes back here like this. So it's like an upside down U that's straight at the bottom. And I also see lines that are going across that, so you could do that as well. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll come up this line. Then what we're going to do is I see the lines coming over like this. Some are down like this. Different directions till we come to the bottom. It's a little harder to see this inside part, but it is there. Come up and around like this and back. And once again, you can add some fur going different directions like this in the ear. Finish it off with a mouth. There's this cute little pink part underneath the mouth, so let's add that. And there actually is, we're going to do the fur very lightly. I'm going to do some lines coming down like this. Now, what did I do to make this? Fur on this side of the koala would be going this direction. If it's going the other side, it's going the opposite direction like this. So in this direction here, I came down like this. When I turned around, now we're on the other side, so it's going like this. Same thing with the koala. The fur here, if we come down the back, very tiny, I'm putting the lines like this because it's going in this direction. And then if we were going down this side here, it's this direction, isn't it? So we're going down like this. Do that down the leg here. I know I'm going fast here and I apologize, but you can always stop this video and catch up at any time. And then to finish it off here, there is a little bit around the head here. This koala has, underneath the eye here, very lightly, it has a line going around it like this. Like that. A circle going around, which is that pink color underneath there. Fill in the nostrils. You could also, if you wanted to, very lightly, not too dark, shade in this, the nose. I mean, you can shade in the toes. We could just keep going with this, but that's how you would draw a koala. Oh, and so it isn't floating in air. Once again, we're going to put a shadow underneath this koala. And you can actually see the shadow here. So it looks like it's sitting down on the ground. Okay, so there we go. We got our koala. How did you do? I bet you did a tremendous job. So until next time, keep on sketching and draw some awesome pictures.